There are currently 3 individuals from the Bordelais Correctional Facility (BCF) who have been released on parole. During a press conference on Friday, the Department of Probation and Parole Services revealed that it has recommended to the Parole Board of St. Lucia that a number of other inmates be released on parole. It is expected that some of those inmates will be released on parole in short order. Cuthbert Henry, Director of the Department of Probation and Parole Services, says they are looking forward to some of these releases, as the department recognizes some of the purposes of incarceration have been met, while some are not being met at the BCF, but can be met in the community. Thus, Henry says, the department wishes to engage more with the public, the media, and the victims.
If we decide that we are recommending parole for persons, and you have victims of rape, victims of murder, and nobody says anything to them, and you take a bus, it's a small country, you take a bus and somebody who raped you sits next to you, boards the bus with you. You're on a bus to Grosley, and the perpetrator of your rape takes that bus and sits next to you. How do you deal with it? And I think we need to feel responsible as a department. We need to feel responsible as criminal justice practitioners for that. We have a responsibility to engage the public and to engage the victims of those offenses.
Parole officers conduct assessments and prepare correctional plans for inmates. In addition, they supervise those on parole and ensure parolees do not pose a threat to the community and that they are attempting to live successful lives. Shana Innocent, a parole officer, says that low recidivism and public safety are the objectives and expected returns of the parole program. Public safety and risk management, rehabilitation and integration are a few of the benefits.
One of the benefits, like we mentioned, of parole is that of the offender when being released in the community is supported by a parole officer, right? In the past, before parole existed, this individual would have been released into society, and there is no supportive organization around them. What the parole officer does is works with the family, works with the individual, and works with other agencies within St. Lucia to sort of provide the individual with coping skills to manage the contributing factors to their offending. So engaging in these rehabilitative practices and programs would sort of manage the likelihood of reoffending in the future.
However, the Department of Probation and Parole Services does face a few challenges.
Well, apart from needing a little more staff for the parole section, one of the biggest challenges we have is that parole was instituted very recently, and those persons, a lot of persons at the facility, they have been there for a very, very long time. And so the work now is very intense in assessing them, analyzing their criminogenic needs, their risky behaviors, just to put it simple, and to create plans so that they could be released safely, because safety and risk management is the key for us here.
Every BCF inmate serving a sentence of more than 12 months is eligible for parole after having served 1/3 of their sentence or 12 months, whichever is greater. If the offender has consecutive sentences, the inmate is eligible for parole in respect of the longest of their sentences after having served 1/3 of that period or 12 months, whichever is greater. As for concurrent sentences, the inmate is eligible after having served 1/3 of the total of such sentence or 12 months, whichever is greater. An inmate who has been sentenced to life imprisonment or the death sentence becomes eligible for parole after having served 15 years. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.